Hello YarnTubers, welcome back to Dana's Wanderlust Crochet, and in today's video we have a tutorial to make this level 1 beginners crochet pattern dishcloth. It is a lot of fun to make because it's got just enough interest in the design to keep you from getting bored. Everything needed to make this dishcloth is right here. The 100% unmercerized cotton. I'm using Lily Sugar and Cream. You can also use Peaches and Cream, Lion Brand 24/7. I'd go for something that isn't mercerized. Pair of scissors, a needle. I think I use about 5 stitch markers. We need a 5.0 millimeter H hook. The reading glasses, and something comfy and yummy to drink is optional. Now, if you are not interested in doing a chainless foundation, then you will chain 25 and you will single crochet back across in the second chain from your hook, ending up with a foundation row of 24 single crochet. I like to do, and I like to hang on to this, I like to do a chainless foundation. I hang on to that first part of that so that I know where to stick my loop. I insert my loop into the first chain. When I do 2 chains, insert my hook into the first loop. And to do a single crochet chainless foundation, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, and complete your single crochet by pulling through 2. And you're actually doing your stitches upside down. So if I flip this over, you can see there is the top of my first stitch. So now that chain that I made by pulling through 1 loop at the beginning of the stitch is where I insert my hook, pull up a loop, and when I pull through that first loop, I kind of keep, keep tabs on that because that's my chain. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yeah. Sure, Dana. Pull through 2. Now, doesn't look very good because I'm doing a tutorial, of course. After I've done 2 stitches, I take a stitch marker and I mark the first one. Because it can get a little lost. So now that chain that I made, I always make sure, you see this third strand of yarn right there? That easily jumps over that one, this one right here. Let's see. No, these are the 2 that I'm supposed to go under right here. But sometimes this loop, see where my hook is peeking through? Sometimes this strand right here jumps over the top of my hook. And one of the easiest way to combat that is to make sure that your foundation row isn't very tight. That these stitches that your hands are relaxed. So there's number 3. You see I have 1, 2, and the first one is marked. And here is that first. I just want to make sure those two are the only ones over my hook and not this third one right here. As you go along, if you're new to doing this, you'll start to notice that other loop trying to jump over your hook. Now, I'm hanging on to that and pulling through 2. I just kind of want to keep, track of that chain that I made. Pull through, yarn over and pull through 1. That creates the chain. Yarn over, pull through 2 to complete your single crochet. And you guys can just watch me. See that? It's trying to jump over the hook. Oops. I want to get all the strands under there. There we go. Do it again. Pull through 2. And then you can turn it over to count your, my stitches aren't looking very even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is what you'll do if you're doing the chainless, the single crochet chainless foundation until you have 24 single crochets for your foundation row, your very first row. Kind of hard to get a rhythm going here, like a cadence. A cadence or a rhythm as your work is what makes smooth, even stitches, not speed. Speed is fine, but it's no good if you don't have a good cadence going, a good rhythm. Okay, so I am going to finish my foundation row and I'll meet you back here. I'm at 22. This one will be 23. And 24. And like I said, this is the bottom of your work. And I'm going to bring it up. Yeah, it's a good thing this one's for me, because that would bother me. But this is the top of your work. And this is the front side. Because, how do I know it's the front side? Because the tops of those stitches, you don't look down on, like, say this is the top of your stitch. They are not completely flat. They tip towards you when you're on the front side. So here I have the front of my work. I'm going to turn the page, turn my work, keep track of that first single crochet, chain 1, insert my hook in the first single crochet, do a single. This is a row of lemon peel. Single, double, all the way across. Which is why when you are sizing this to be smaller or larger, just remember that your number of stitches on your first, if you're doing the chainless foundation row, it needs to be an even number. If you're chaining and then single crocheting back, it needs to be an odd number. Okay, so there's single, double, single, double, single, breathe, double, single, double. When you begin each row of lemon peel stitch, you begin with a double, and at the end you'll end with, you begin with a single, excuse me, and you end with a double. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, we're down to the last two. It's a single and a double. And this is the lemon peel row. The first row, the lemon peel, is the first row of your 3-row repeat. So you do 1 row of lemon peel, turn, chain 1, and do a second row of lemon peel. And the great thing about the lemon peel, this is wonderful. My next stitch here is going to go into a double crochet from the row before. I put a single crochet on top of a double and a double crochet on top of a single. But every time you do a row of lemon peel, it starts with a double crochet and it ends, I'm sorry, I did that last time. It starts with a single crochet and ends with a double crochet. So we just did a double crochet. That means at the top of this stitch, I'm going to do a single and then a double. a single, and then a double. I'll meet you at the end. I'm at the last 2 stitches of the second row of lemon peel. There's a single, and there is a double. So after 2 rows of a repeat, the first 2 rows of the 3-row repeat are lemon peel stitches, or lemon peel rows. The 3rd row of the 3-row repeat is just a row of single crochet. So I'm going to do single crochet all the way across. And here's how I keep track of the number of repeats that I have in my dishcloth. Every time I start that single crochet row, I go down here and I just throw a stitch marker in there after I've done a few of the single crochet on the single crochet row. So every repeat, I'm not counting the foundation row as a repeat. Row 1 and row 2 of the 3-row repeat is the lemon peel, and the 3rd row is single crochet. So all the way up your dishcloth, you're doing 2 rows of lemon peel and then 1 row of single crochet. That gives your dishcloth just a little bit of scrub, the tiniest little bit of texture, some horizontal lines. I think it makes a very pleasing look to the dishcloth. It makes me happy. And it is currently, you know, this is going to change at some point. It's currently my favorite way to do a dishcloth. Dishcloths are another one of those things that are great to have on hand as gifts. This one, of course, because it's not going to be as nice and even as I want it, as I like them to be, because I'm doing it in a tutorial. This will go into my own kitchen. But I just got done giving a handful. You saw those in the thumbnail that have this nice pattern. I just gave those away. So each repeat is 1 row of lemon peel, 2nd row of lemon peel, and a 3rd row of single crochet. Now, I have 1 repeat done, and I'm currently doing dishcloths, doing them in 6 of these repeats, and it is working out that I can get 2 dishcloths per a ball of sugar and cream yarn. So here we are starting the next 3-row repeat by doing, I'll do 2 rows of lemon peel and 1 row of single crochet. So I'll do the first part of this row with you. Double, single, that stitch marker's making noise. Single, double, single, double, single, double. And I'll meet you at the end of this row. Okay, I'm at the end of my first row of lemon peel in this set of repeated rows. Single, dig out that last one for a double. I'm going to turn my work. And there's my stitch of the last row. I'm going to chain 1 and do a single, double, single, double, single, double, all the way to the end. Okay, last two. This is the second row of lemon peel in the 3-row repeat. Single, double. Going to turn my work, chain 1, and I'm going to do a couple of single crochet across. 1. Okay, so I've started the 3rd row of my 3-row repeat, which is always just a row of single crochet. And at the end here, I just find an open spot up towards the upper corner of my work here to mark it. And now I'm going to continue and finish this repeat, the 3rd row of the 3-row repeat. And you are going to do this 3-row repeat until you have 6 of the repeats. And that way, I found that I can get 2 dishcloths out of 1 ball of sugar and cream. And some of them have a little bit, you know, higher in yardage, and some of them are a little lower in yardage between the variegated and the striped ones. But I found that this pattern, doing 6 of these 3-row repeats, you can kind of see, it's very subtle, that single crochet line. And then the 2 rows of lemon peel, very subtle single crochet line. I love that. And those lines are so subtle that that's why I am marking each repeat, even if they're done on each end, because sometimes it's kind of hard for my eye to catch that line. I'll show you what I mean. Here's a good angle showing the repeats with that very subtle line of single crochet between these repeats. But in different lights, it is hard to tell. It's hard for me to tell. Maybe your eye picks that up a lot better. I think the camera is picking it up really well right now. I just love that subtlety. And here's one in a variegated for my friend Patty. This is Pollyanna and this is Patty. And at some angles, it is hard to tell, but there are 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 repeats. And a quick, simple border around them just kind of finishes them off. But that is why I am putting a stitch marker when I first start that row of single crochet, and then I can keep track of how many repeats I've done. So here I have done 2 repeats. I did a foundation row of single crochet, and then I began the repeat by doing 2 rows of lemon peel stitch and 1 row of single crochet. 2 rows of lemon peel, 1 row of single crochet. I put a marker at the beginning, at the start of every single crochet row, and I will meet you at the end of the 6th repeat to show you how I do a real simple, quick border. Okay, I just finished the single crochet of the last repeat. So can you see those? Just barely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 repeats. Now, I'm going to start on the border. So, I'm going to turn my work, chain up, and I'm going to single crochet back across. And it's nothing more than a single crochet border. Hook down, hook down. So 24 across here. So yes, what that ends up meaning is you've got your last row of single crochet and then another row of single crochet when you start the border. And then at the bottom of the work, you have a row of single crochet. Your border will make a second one. And then you'll have a line of single crochet on each edge. And borders aren't always that clear to everybody. And I know that technically, okay, if you're at the edge, if you're putting a border on an edge and you have a double crochet, then you're going to put 2 single crochet around the double crochet. You're going to put 1 single crochet around the single crochet. It isn't always so cut and dry. So let's come across here and we will do the whole border together. Yes, and I'll take stitch markers out as we go. So 1 single crochet all the way back across. And it wouldn't hurt. You know, if there's nothing wrong with putting a stitch marker in the first single crochet of this border row. Wouldn't hurt anything. Nothing wrong with that. So I got 3 left. 3, 2, underneath both, 1. Now, that's across the top side. Now I'm going to completely turn my work so my stitches makes a difference. Okay, and I'm going to put 2 more in that exact same spot. So 3 in the corner is what that, so I have the last one, number 24 of that row. I have the middle one of the corner, and then this is number 1. This is the beginning of my side. Now, can you see this? I've got a hole there, but behind there's a strand. So I'm just going to put 1 here, and then there's a small opening there. That's where I'm putting my single crochet border stitches. It's not fancy, but it's a dishcloth. Let's get real. Okay, so we have a double crochet. We have the side of a stitch here. I'm just going to put 1 around that. I'm going to put 1 in the next opening. I'm going to put 1 in here. I can get rid of all these other stitch markers now. I'm going to put 1 right there. 1 right in this spot. One right in here, 1 right in there, and that next one. And then after those 2 fairly open ones, there's 1 that's not very large, that opening right there. And I basically just do 1. I try not to let my hands get too tense, kind of relax, let my tension loosen up a little. And you can see there's an opening there, and then there's a piece of yarn right there, and I'm going to go there, and then I'm going to go there. So I'm going to start here, go in there, and then there's a smaller opening right there. I'm not making it complicated. This is just a dishcloth. A stupid easy, so easy it's stupid dishcloth. See that where that next one's going to go? And then there's a smaller opening there. So there. The smaller opening here. Then I have two larger openings. See this? Well, I have one larger opening right there. Right there. And then I have a smaller one. Bring this down just a little bit. I really want you guys to be able to see it. Okay, so here we have two larger openings with just one strand of yarn right there. I'm going to go in both of those. Then I'm going to, there's the second one. And then there's an opening right here at the bottom corner of our dishcloth. There's one for this side, one for the turn, and I am going over this. I'll do that for about 5 or so. Then I'm turning, and I've completely got the bottom, I've completely turned this so that my stitches don't get too slanted. And I am going over that tail for just a few stitches. Now I could be a purist and just go right underneath those two. Honestly, I want this to be so easy for you. I'm just going to go under each, go in between each stitch and not worry about getting on between the top two and this third one. Nah, I'm just making this so simple. So I'm going to do one more going over the tail, and then I'm going to drop the tail because I will still weave that in. But see that I could go, if you want to be really good, you can go directly underneath these two and above that third loop. I'm not. I am not. It's a dishcloth. It's not an absolute work of art. It is an art form. Crochet is an art form, a life skill, a hobby, a profession. It is all of these things. But see, you can see that. I could go under these two and over that third one, or I could just go in between the stitches. Seriously, it's a dishcloth. It's going to be used on dishes. It could be used in the bathroom as a washcloth. However it's used, it is a functional piece. I just like giving it a little edge. I like a little edge on it, but it doesn't have to be anything complicated. So there's that last one. And then I've got kind of a corner here. I'm going to do one and then the center one, and then I'm going to make sure my piece is completely turned before I crochet in the third in the corner. And I'm going to go ahead and remove these. Except for the very first one of the border. But these ones on the side I'm removing. Okay, so I have a small spot right there. I'm going to put a single crochet. And here, going up the other side, there are two bigger openings. I'm just going to and then there's a small one. And then there's two bigger openings. Second one, and then there's always a small one. Two bigger ones and a small one. Bigger one bigger one, and a small one. Small opening, and then occasionally there's just like one big opening. I just put one in there because I don't want to get too many going, make it all wonky. Okay, there's that one that's kind of hard to see. It's a smaller opening there, and then you see it's followed by two bigger ones. Dun, 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 dun. And two bigger ones. Let's see what we got here. Okay, two bigger ones, a smaller one, and then we have a bigger one, and I'm just going to do 1 and 2. Actually, I'm just going to do 1. Because I'm going to show you how I've been finishing these off. I might have gotten quite a few on the side. Might get a little wonky, but that's okay. It's a dishcloth. Now, I'm going to cut this. The slip stitch will look like that middle stitch. So I'm going to take my, if you've done an invisible join, that's great. That's all I'm going to do. It's not that hard. Okay. So instead of doing a third one right here in the center, because we have, if you're going around the corner and you want 3 in the corner, you got the one I just finished with, you're going to have your join, and then the first one that we did in the border will be considered the third one of the corner. So there's the top of my stitch. I'm going to go from back to front underneath those top loops. And I'm just going to tuck all that in underneath that. It's, if you were going to slip stitch in, this is where you would slip stitch and not put that center single crochet in there. So I'm just going to make it really nice. And I'm going to go down into, let's get our focus here. Focus, please. There we go. See where that one's coming out of? It's really blurry for some reason. I'm going to go right down into the same spot. Ooh, looking through the... And then on the back side, as I come through, I'm going to go underneath something. Then when I snug it up, see something's kind of sticking in between. I'm going to kind of smooth that out. I mean, it is just a dishcloth, but it's good practice for your invisible joins in your other projects. Ones that are, you know, projects that are a little more refined than a cotton. So I'm going to tighten that up a little. I'm sorry about there. And it looks like you did 3, but really, here is the one that you ended with. And then you looped through the very first one of the round and went back into the one that you ended with. And look, it looks like you put 3 in the corner when you really didn't. I really didn't. You can also do it the old-fashioned way. Slip stitch, chain 1, cut, tie it off, do all the things. Here I am on the back side. I'm going to go underneath this row of border stitches, kind of just get this out. I love these. I love these Clover needles. I just went through there. And I'm going to make sure that it's not too tight and not too loose through there. So I went through once. And it came out. Let me make sure you guys are right where I want you to be here. Okay. So it came out. I'm on the back side. Came out right here. So I'm going to go over that last one that it came out of and then go under so that it won't just pull right back through. One. There's my second pass. Thank you, Mikey, from the Crochet Crowd. Then I'm going to go over that last one and then under these others. Come on out. I think weaving in ends is an art form all by itself. Because you don't want to pucker, you don't really want to bulk up, even though it's just a dishcloth. That looks pretty decent. And I give it a little tug out, and I do like the curve of these. Snip it, and then I stretch it back in. So there's that one. And then the bottom one. Now the bottom one I went over it a few stitches. Remember that? So I only need to make 2 passes because I believe in 3s when it comes to weaving in. 3 different directions or 3 passes when you're going pretty much in the same. So here's where it comes out. I'm going to go over that one and under the others. And one thing about doing this, you know, in 3 passes in the same spot. Yeah, it bulks up a little, but for a dishcloth, it doesn't have, it's not like something I'm going to enter in the county fair. And that bulking up a little bit is going to help keep this end tightly secure. So that is considered my 3rd pass. My first pass was when I crocheted over the top of it. Little tug, little snip, and then I just stretch it back out to bury it. So here it is. It's not like something that I've blocked, but this is one of the most functional things you can crochet. And I guarantee you, the first time you actually convince your friend to use one of these handmade dishcloths, they're going to realize that it is the greatest dishcloth they've ever used. These are wonderful. So there's my current favorite pattern for a dishcloth with these just little subtle lines in between the lemon peel texture. I hope you guys have really liked this. This one is going into my own drawer here in the yarn bus, and I will be using it. Okay, I love you guys. Bye.